Hey, what's up everyone? This is Dan Tortora once again for Dolphin Dive, which you find here every second and fourth Wednesday of each month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, exclusively with student athletes, coaches, and or staff of LeMoyne College and our Multimedia Marketing Partnership. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is proud to tell the stories of LeMoyne, and so thankful that you're here with us all throughout the week on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And of course on Wednesdays for Dolphin Time at 9 a.m. And that is exactly where we are right now in our newest feature, Spotlight Special of the Dolphin Dive with Brianne Rett. Brianne Rett coming with us from the women's track team here at LeMoyne College. And a fantastic story to tell. Brianne, how you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing very well, and I'm looking at the polo and I'm loving it. I'm wondering why I don't have one, but I am wearing the Wake Up Call logo, and a big thanks to John Grenquist and as well as the team at Mark Products for that. Your story is such a beautiful flower kind of getting grown out of the rock, so to speak. And on and off of the field, as we call it, or on and off of the track, you've been through different things. We'll get into some of those things today, but before we go anywhere, how would you describe who you are as a person at this point?
I would say I'm more resilient and strong than ever. I've been through a lot in the past 2 years, but with the communities building me up, I've really become more resilient.
That resiliency, how hard was it for you to be that flower that could grow out of the rock? Did you kind of grow a little bit and stop? I mean, how would you describe it?
Yeah, it's definitely a process, but it's kind of hard not to keep going with all these amazing communities, my high school, my middle school, here at LeMoyne. And so even when you do kind of hit one of those rocks, you get lifted up right away and keep going.
Who are some of the people in the community that you want to thank?
Definitely my coach, Coach Wheelis. He's been with me every step of the way, making a transition here. President Lemura has also, I've been in contact with her many times, and she's been great. And just every friend and professor that I've met so far has been amazing.
For you, and for those that don't know and those that do know, your sister Grace passed away, part of the Holy Cross women's rowing team down in Vero Beach, Florida, in a car accident that happened here within these last few years. And that news, in that moment, I feel bad to ask you to go back there, but I know that it's part of your story and part of your evolution. Do you remember the moment when you found out?
Yeah, very, very clearly. It's very clear. It was just in class, got pulled out, life changed in 1 second.
Who told you?
My parents were able to come in and tell me.
Your parents were able to come in and tell you. And your first thought on your mind within all of that was what?
I didn't believe it. I'm still in shock mostly, but no, I didn't believe it, didn't want to believe it.
Grace to you gave what to your life?
I mean, she was my best friend. She was my sister. I looked up to her in everything I did. Every time she saw a frown on my face, it was her mission to turn that upside down. She was an amazing inspiration. I probably wouldn't even think I was good enough to be here if it wasn't for looking up to her and having her supporting me and everything.
When you find out that something like this happens, there are no words. How have you and your family worked to move forward?
Definitely, like I've said before, the community, we would not be anywhere without all of our friends and family lifting us up. But we know that Grace would not want us sitting around and being sad, and she'd want us to keep going forward, keep being active, do things for others, just anything we can to keep moving forward.
So how does Grace live on with you? What do you do to try and keep her spirit alive?
I definitely feel a lot when I'm doing something athletic, when I'm on my team, when I'm working out in the gym. I definitely know that she'd be proud of me because she's probably never seen me work as hard as I am right now. But I definitely keep her close to me in everything I do. She, all across the boards, whether it was school, having a good laugh with friends, the sports, she was a light in all those areas.
LeMoyne obviously has a deep connection to faith, and they're unapologetic about it. They focus in on it. Was your faith shaken at that time? Do you still have your faith today? How does faith play into this?
Well, I've gone to small private Catholic schools all my life, so has Grace, and we're a very religious Catholic family. And I think for me, my faith was strengthened even more because I was able to turn to God, and I loved being able to come to a Jesuit college to continue growing in that faith. But it's been strengthened a lot by being able to turn to that.
I find that incredible, and that is the power of God, that most people would anticipate that your answer would be, I'm angry, I turned away, I was mad. You said one word, I was strengthened. How does something so difficult and so hard and so tragic turn into a stronger faith?
It's because of Grace. That's all I can say. She was the strongest person I knew physically and emotionally. Whatever she wanted to do, she put her mind to it. She could do it. So I'm inspired by her to be strong every day.
When you say she was the strongest person physically and emotionally, physically it's easy to see. How did you assess that she was so strong emotionally? What was it about her that made you believe, wow, like there's nobody I know that's stronger than my sister when it comes to her emotion?
She was just really big on mental toughness, and she was joking most of the time, but sometimes she would tell me pain is just a mindset to get me through a workout. So she really just was big on, if you put your mind to something, like, you can do anything.
We're told to appreciate every moment. Everybody around the world has gone through a pandemic. So rare that the world can experience the exact same thing at the exact same time. And we've done that. So I say that God's hitting a reset button, trying to get everybody to focus on what matters and to move forward more positively and take care of ourselves, take care of each other. These last 18 months were the reset button. Your button was hit with Grace. So in a world that's needing to care about each other, needing a wake-up call, so to speak, you already had that. So when you saw the world go through this pandemic, did you kind of already feel like, hey, listen, I know what it takes to be mentally tough already?
It was definitely a challenge with it happening so close to the pandemic. Part of it was good because we had a lot of time to ourselves in our own home to grieve, but then the other part of it was, okay, I just really need to get back and see my friends. So I would say it kind of went hand in hand. It made things harder a little bit.
What's your advice to the world, having been through a loss, and to know that every day is precious when everybody says, hey, every second counts, every day counts, every interaction counts. You never know how you're meeting somebody. You never know what type of day they're having. We hear these things all the time, but we don't always live them. What's your advice to the world on really knowing that every second matters?
Yeah, I would just say, love everyone. There's no reason to be mad. Forgive others. Treat everyone like it could be the last time that you talk to them. And just keep getting up every day. No matter what you're going through, every day ends and you get up again, and that's a new day, and you can do anything you want with that day. So just keep trucking along.
Brianne Rett here with us, LeMoyne Dolphins women's track team, as well as her incredible story off the track as well here in Dolphin Dive on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. As life goes forward and you've had to navigate through all of this, you're young, and I think that people forget about this. You're a kid in this world. How does a kid move forward through a pandemic, through the tough days on the track, through studying and having a bunch of tests at the same time, through your sister passing away? How do you not only handle this in general, but handle it as a kid? Where do you, I know we talked about faith, but what do you lean on?
I just take it one day at a time. Sometimes it's 1 hour at a time. Sometimes it's whatever's happening within the next 5 minutes. Just get through that. But definitely trying to find those outlets, like getting to the gym, spending time with friends, just sitting down, watching Netflix, just taking it very slowly, day by day.
On your worst day, what does that look like?
I don't want to get up. I don't want to get out of bed. But something eventually gets me up. It's Grace in the back of my head, but it's just...
Do you feel like she was there when she was here, and now that she's back up in heaven, that she's here even more? Do you almost like hear her even more sometimes?
Yeah, she's definitely here. I definitely still hear her voice in the back of my head in everything that I'm doing.
What's like one thing that she said to you that just always stays with you?
I definitely hear a lot the joking, pain is just a mindset. I know, like, she was serious. If you're hurt, like, you need to seek medical attention. But
Yeah.
if you're doing a workout or something's really hard and you're like, oh, I don't know if I can do this, it's really just, just put your head to it and change your attitude.
We've talked about mom and dad. For those that don't know, I'd love to shout out their names and what you think are the best traits of your parents.
My mom, Mary Jo, I would say no matter what's happening, where I am, she will always be there for me. She just this weekend, she drove up to see me. She drove 4.5 hours to see because she knew I was feeling
From
a little.
where?
Uxbridge, Massachusetts.
What is it? Oxbridge?
Uxbridge, Massachusetts.
Uxbridge, Massachusetts. So yeah, I know that drive, and everything in Mass is kind of like 4 hours away. Okay.
Yeah. So my mom definitely, at the drop of a hat, will be there for whatever I want. And my dad, Christopher, he definitely has the same sense of humor that I do. So sometimes we cope better with humor and cracking jokes once in a while, or sharing something funny online that will just brighten my day or something like that.
Your family, like I said, had to come together before the world had to come together as a family. So for you, do you feel like, as you've gone through these last couple of years, are you feeling that strength inside of you? You talk about, your faith was strengthened. Do you feel like a stronger person? Do you feel like you're better for having gone through the fire, so to speak? As hard as it is, do you feel like somehow, some way, God is at work?
Yeah, as hard as it's been, although some days are better than others, I definitely have a whole new mindset on life, and I put myself out there more, and I definitely try harder in my workouts, try to be a better person, better athlete, better student.
So for you to move forward here and to be a part of this track team, what do you get most excited about when it comes to women's track? What is it that, like you said, there's days you don't want to get out of bed, there's days that are tough and whatnot, but you've been through so much, it's strengthened you, it's made you better, you appreciate things more, put yourself out there more. So it's kind of a two-part question. What's your favorite thing about track, and what's your least favorite thing that maybe you appreciate a little bit more now because of everything that you've been through?
Yeah, well, I'm a thrower, and I love the sport. Like, who wouldn't want to just throw heavy objects? But it's a really good outlet. Like, not only is it my favorite sport, but just the act of being able to focus on just your footwork and then being able to release something into the air. It's just a really good moment for everything else in the world to kind of go away for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then least favorite, but I guess I appreciate it. I hate running. Even when we have to do our one warm-up lap, like I'm just really not a fan of it, but I'll take, now seeing how my sister lived through her workouts, I'll take any moment to improve my physical health, get some cardio in when I need to, and I definitely appreciate that a lot more.
You spoke about, as a thrower, that you get to take something heavy and you get to release it. The figurativeness of that, do you feel that too?
Yes, I definitely feel that all the time. Sometimes when I'm feeling down, like, oh, I can't wait for practice tomorrow morning, or even I have a shot put circle in my backyard. During the pandemic, when it got nice out, it was just really great to be able to go out and throw by myself.
Yeah, and it's such a, you're literally what you do in school, what you do as a student athlete, what you do for fun, is also a very therapeutic thing that I'm sure that people would use it, and obviously on a different level. Not everybody's going to throw a shot put, but that, that they would essentially maybe do an exercise of saying, like, picture that this ball has all the stress that you have in your life and all the pain, and then take it and release it. You know what I mean? You get to essentially physically release it, but also, like I said, figuratively, emotionally, mentally, socially, you get to do what you love while also helping yourself be healthy, which is kind of a really unique and cool thing.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think it's the best sport. I think everyone should do it.
So why LeMoyne? Why become a Dolphin? What was it for you that made you feel like, hey, this should be home?
As soon as I stepped on campus the summer before my junior year, everyone that I met was so welcoming, and I knew, like, oh my gosh, like, I want to go to school here, this is great. And then since I've been looking into it, and especially since my sister's passing, everybody here has been just so supportive of me and aware of my situation or not. I've just been embraced with loving arms everywhere I go on this campus. And when I found out they had throwers on the team, I just couldn't imagine myself going to college and not being on a team anymore. I've been involved with athletics all my life, and knowing that I could go somewhere and continue that, I knew that was something that I couldn't give up. So all the pieces came together here.
You said everybody that you met was nice. Do you remember the first person or people that you had met?
I don't remember. It was definitely a big group of people from the admissions department for sure. As soon as you walk in the door, they're like, "Hi, I'm so happy you're here." And I'm like, "I'm happy."
So you felt that there was like a genuine goodness here from the beginning?
Yes, everyone here is just so genuinely happy to be here. All the events that campus has, all the things that admission does for people looking at the school, it's just everyone is radiating happiness that they're a part of this community.
You said a word that I thought was really amazing, radiating. That it's not just a happy place, but that it's almost like glowing, right? And how do you feel that every day? I mean, is it just like seeing people excited about their jobs? I mean, how do you see the environment of LeMoyne radiating? Why is LeMoyne different than other places you've been, essentially?
I mean, every time I'm walking to class, familiar faces, they're always waving. I guess that's nice because it's a small school. In the dining hall, the guy who makes my omelets, he knows my order. Every morning I go in, he knows exactly what I want.
What do you get?
Bacon, onions, peppers, and cheese.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can we shout him out? What's his name?
Oh, I'm not sure if I know his name.
No, we need to know that man's name.
name.
we need to figure that out and figure out what he likes for breakfast. Hook him up. So you were saying?
Yeah, it's just all the events that, even just throwing the events, all the stuff that's offered, bingo every Friday night, trivia every week, just all these things. I definitely don't hear that my friends' schools are doing all of this stuff for us.
And to you, it's a good, clean fun, right? Just being around people, having a good time, and building a community. We've needed that for a long time in this country. We've really needed that over the last year and a half. So if you appreciated it coming into LeMoyne, how much more do you appreciate it even now that you can have a bingo night, you could have a trivia night, to just get together, the value of being around, like you said, being around your friends?
Yeah, I definitely, probably more than others, appreciate it deep down, and I do take little moments during those times where I kind of sit back and I'm like, okay, I'm really happy to be here.
Do you find yourself more thankful now than maybe you were in the past?
For sure, definitely.
What do you appreciate the most?
I appreciate just, having the opportunity to be alive. You don't really understand that life is short until someone who only lived to 20 dies, and you think about all the things that my sister could have accomplished, and then you think about yourself, all that you could accomplish and all the time you have left, and you just have to take advantage of all those moments because you never know when something could change.
What do you want to accomplish?
I'm not completely sure yet. I think I'm a sociology major, and I think I'd like to go into some sort of social work. I'd also be happy teaching. I just really want to work with kids or teens that may not have as good of a life or upbringing that I've had.
So your mark on the world in helping them, what are you hoping to teach them? What are you hoping to show them?
I'm hoping to show them that no matter what situation they may be in, it's going to get better, and they have the power, whether it's just their mindset or they're able to go out and actually change something, that the world will get better and that they can achieve greatness no matter where they start.
Achieve greatness no matter where you start. You keep saying things that are sticking with me, and I hope they're sticking with you out there. Achieve greatness no matter where you start. We all start at different places. We all have different roads. Sometimes we're on the same road as somebody else, but we come in at a different point. Or maybe our exit might be different than theirs. To go a little bit deeper into that, achieve greatness no matter where you start, how do we do that? How do we do that knowing that sometimes in life we focus on everybody else's road and achieving greatness on our own path and not somebody else's.
Well, there's definitely always going to be someone better than you, no matter if it's in school or sports. But something I really like about track and field is that, yes, you're trying to win as a team, but you're also trying to get a PR. You're trying to get your personal best. When I go into a meet, I'm always thinking about trying to beat my personal best distance and trying to get those inches and extra feet. And so I think if you have the PR mindset in everything you do, just trying to be your best self in everything you do and trying to be better than you were the day before, it's a really good way to stay on track and not focus on everybody else.
So essentially compete with yourself from yesterday as opposed to competing with anybody else.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, this special of Dolphin Dive here with you today on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is with the wonderful and the incredibly talented with words, Brianne Rett, here with us here today of LeMoyne Dolphins women's track. And we are in the week of Thanksgiving, and it's all about being thankful. People reflect this week, at least, on what they're thankful for. I think you should reflect every day, like you said, to just understand what it means to be happy to be alive. What are you most thankful for as we head into Thanksgiving?
My family, my friends, the LeMoyne community, just all the people in my life that I talk to, everyone that I meet, every smile that I see.
Can I just take you home? Like, I mean, can I just want you to sit there, or I could just come over and say, you know, Brianne, I'm having a tough moment. Well, here's a quote for you. You know what I mean? You seem to have those. Are your parents known for rattling off quotes? I mean, is this something that your sister had always done? I mean, who's somebody that always gives you good advice?
I mean, Grace, of course, she gave me good advice. My parents, they raised me really well, all my values. I had really good schooling, but I don't know. I don't really know what I would like blame that on.
Well, I'm gonna say something to you, and I hope that you take this better than I did. I always, everything in my power, I would give advice to other people, and I would always give the advice. Like I would give this advice that I needed to take, but I never took it. But I would give it to other people to take. So I'm gonna tell you something. Because you give such great advice, take it. Take it. Everything you said, being alive, achieving greatness no matter where you start, all of these things, take those with you, because I'm telling you, I should have been listening to myself when I was trying to help other people. Sometimes, you know, you're saying things out loud, you need to help yourself. You say a lot of great things, and I want you to take those with you. Can you do that for me?
I'll try.
Brianne Rett here with us. Before we finish up here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, we do something called Rapid Fire, where it gives me an opportunity and you an opportunity to put each other on the hot seat. As a broadcaster, I never see anybody do this, but dare to be different, right? So I'm going to let you ask me some questions. We're going to go back and forth. 3 apiece, unprepared. I don't know what she's going to say. She doesn't know what I'm going to say. Nothing to do with sports, but you're going to get to know Brianne Rett, and you know you're going to get to know me a little bit. So just to preface it, I love talking about my ex-girlfriends. So a lot of comedy there. So whatever we want to ask, we can ask. It's an open floor. I'm going to let you start first. And whatever we ask each other, we have to answer.
What's your favorite sports team?
Ooh, favorite sports team of what sport?
All of them.
All of them. All right, let's run the gamut. I'm all over the place too. So grew up here in Syracuse, New York. Syracuse football, Syracuse basketball. Love them when we're talking about D1. So that's here. Outside of that, everything's everywhere. Major League Baseball, Arizona Diamondbacks. NHL, Anaheim Ducks, and I'm kind of a fan of the Vegas Knights, like low-key. No, I would say Anaheim Ducks 1, Seattle Kraken 2. And then basketball, NBA, Toronto Raptors. Football, Jacksonville Jaguars. Right below that, Dallas Cowboys. And MLS, I didn't have one, but they're coming out soon, and I'm going to jump on it before there's a bandwagon. Charlotte FC. So, because I love the Queen City, so I believe Charlotte's going to be my favorite MLS team as they come into existence. And I think that that's everybody, right? That's hockey, football, basketball. Really touch on everything. And then I have Italian and Hispanic blood, so when it comes to soccer, Italy and Spain all the time. And they're just winning championships and making me all kinds of proud. So those are my teams.
All right.
Brianne, Let's see here. Well, you talked about food, you talked about breakfast. If you could only have one meal for the rest of your life, what would you eat and why? Every day.
Chipotle.
Really?
I
Okay.
love Chipotle. I get it at least 2 to 3 times a week.
What's the go-to menu? By the way, there's a Chipotle literally right down the road from LeMoyne. You could walk there.
It's the real reason I chose LeMoyne.
Part of it.
I get a bowl with steak, the corn, cheese, salsa.
Okay, fair enough. All right, Chipotle, not a bad thing. Good for their burritos. I like it. What's your second one for me?
What's one of the most embarrassing things that's happened to you?
Oh, there's so many. So, one of the most embarrassing things that's ever happened to me, I'm trying to think of one that maybe I haven't told recently. The most embarrassing things that happened to me. Oh, okay, I'll tell this one. So in high school, I went to Christian Brothers Academy, right down the road. And when I was there, I was in the lunch line, and it was at the time where my voice was cracking as a man. Your voice is changing itself. So you have those little, and so I'm getting a soda, and I'm going through the lunch line. There's a girl in front of me, and I hadn't seen her. Like, I had no classes with her. We had a small class. We only had like 127 kids or something like that, but I never saw her. I thought she transferred. I thought she went to another school. So I don't have an inside voice sometimes. My brain just out my mouth without asking permission. So not only did I say this, but I cracked my voice when I said it. And I told her out loud, I was like, oh, you still go here? And I was like, oh, you still go here? So that was one of those moments where I was just like, wow, Dan, you said that out loud. You didn't mean it like that. And your voice cracked. So good stuff. But I've also, I hit someone with a motorboat before when I was 12. I had a tree frog stuck to my head in Walt Disney World. There's a lot of cool things that have happened to your guy over here. So it's always good. My second question for you is, what movie could you go into a theater and watch every day for the rest of your life?
Oof. I would probably have to go with something Marvel. I love Marvel, love the Avengers.
I liked you before, now we're best friends.
Yeah,
we're close now.
Maybe the first Iron Man movie,
Okay.
Or I'd have to go with one of the Avengers movies.
Which Avengers one is your favorite? There's Avengers, folks.
Yeah.
There's Age of Ultron, which they made Ultron a little pipsqueak, not as strong as he should be. He's way stronger in the comics. They made Infinity War and Endgame. So, of those four.
I might just have to go with the first one, just for
Okay.
nostalgia purposes. I don't know if I can watch Endgame more. It's emotional with Iron Man.
Emotional, yeah. Well, and I saw Infinity War, the Russo brothers, I swore at them in the theater, and respectfully though, because they made me cry. I love Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
I had one single tear go down my face. And I let it fall, because I was just like, let it fall. So when I asked you this question, I selfishly inside of me are like, God, please say Marvel, because I love Marvel. Venom, Spider-Man, I grew up on all that. Were you always a fan as a kid, or did you become a fan when you started seeing a movie?
No, I remember my dad bringing me and my sister to the Marvel movie premieres at the movie theater since I was like 10.
Okay.
So my dad definitely has tried to influence us with the Marvel, the Star Wars, all things like that. So I've always kind of seen them.
Christopher, you are a great father. You should get Father of the Year. So, have you seen every single Marvel movie?
Yeah.
Have you seen the Venom movies or no?
Not yet.
Okay, you need to see Venom. We need to make that happen. So, Iron Man, you said, do you have a favorite character?
I mean, I really like Tony Stark.
Okay.
Happy also.
Happy Hogan.
Happy Hogan.
Happy's the best. Jon Favreau, the man who brought us Iron Man because he directed those movies. So, shout out to Jon Favreau, who's incredible. I love that. I love that whole answer. We're good friends now. We've known each other, we lived in Boston together or whatever. I know you didn't live in Boston, but that's where I go with my accent. The wicked head. So, the lobster. But, and I did find out that Worcester is Worcester.
Worcester, yeah.
And I'm like, but in what world do you shorten that? But whatever. And my buddy dated a girl from Worcester, and I was like, it's Worcester. Like, that's what it looks like. If you want it to be Worcester, it should be spelled like Munster without a couple of the letters. But I respect Massachusetts. I got family down there. So don't get mad at me, Massachusetts. I was all kind. I love your lobster rolls. Please be nice to me. Your last one for me.
Did you make any fun purchases over quarantine? What was your favorite thing that you did or bought during the pandemic?
I did not shop during the pandemic like a lot of people being at home just spending all kinds of money.
Yeah, that was me.
I actually, so hold that thought for a second. I love what I do, and I do what I love what I do. So as a broadcaster, I get really psyched up about like buying equipment.
Okay.
And I keep stuff for such a long time because like I'm a very simple guy. So I can't say during the pandemic, but I could say now at the time we're talking, before Thanksgiving, I just bought I had some money put aside for this. I bought new headphones, and they're orangish copper, and that's got a cool thing for me because when I had my own idea of Spider-Man, my hobgoblin had a copper orange suit and green. So I got headphones that look like they were made for me, and they're called Lantern something. So I got those, and I got a microphone that's the Jaguar's teal, which is also like my grandmother's color. So I got some really cool stuff. That's where I'll spend the money. Like I'll shop around, I'll try and save, but I will spend money when it comes to like equipment and building up my business. And I will also, and I realized this too because I was looking at it on the way here, I will buy anything that has Venom on it from Spider-Man. I will buy anything that has it on it. If there's like a binky, obviously I'm not a baby, I will buy one because I have a problem. I do. My question for you, because you provoked it, is what did you buy during the quarantine? What did you not buy, maybe, is a question.
One of my favorite parts, if there was something good to come out of quarantine, was my mom is a elementary school music teacher, and she was filming her music lessons to send to her classes. And I somehow got roped in as the assistant, and so I bought like a shark costume, I bought like the inflatable dinosaur costume, I bought an inflatable Pillsbury Doughboy costume, and I was in the videos dancing to her music and sending those to the little kids. So, those are my favorite purchases, wearing those around the house.
That's awesome. So, Mary Jo, I'm sure she had fun with that, your mom and dad. So, that's really cool. I thought you were going to be like, oh, I bought shoes and this and that, whatever. No, I bought a Pillsbury Doughboy costume. Who doesn't need it? Do you still have all these?
Oh, yeah, I do. I'm thinking of bringing them back next semester.
Well, and you're also good for Halloween forever.
Yeah.
You're set. And now I know who to call if I need a Pillsbury Doughboy costume. Awesome stuff. That coming from Brianne Rett, LeMoyne Dolphins women's track team, and an incredible human being, as you've learned today, here inside of Dolphin Dive, exclusively on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We are so happy for you to be here with us. Every Wednesday at 9 a.m. is Dolphin Time. First and third Wednesday is AD and DT with Athletics Director Bob Beretta. Second and fourth Wednesday, like this Wednesday, Dolphin Dive, and always Dolphin things going on all throughout WakeUpCallDT.com and on Facebook at WakeUpCallDT, Twitter at CallDT, and Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT. Brianne, it is obviously more than I can say. It's been my pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate it. Brianne Rett, make sure you come check her out in the women's track team and just come hang out and see her story. By the way, a lot of Marvel movies coming up, and you obviously know you gotta pick that time she's gonna be in the theater. So shout out to all of you out there. Thank you so much to the community. Brianne, thank you again.